Imagine a civilization so advanced, so widespread, and so mysterious that some people believe it was deliberately erased from history. A forgotten empire called Tartaria, said to span continents, build impossible structures, and possess technologies far beyond their time. But was Tartaria real, or just an internet myth? Today, we dive into the rise, secrets, and disappearance of the empire many claim the world tried to hide. What was Tartaria? If you open very old maps from the 16th, 17th, even 18th century, you'll find a mysterious region labeled Tartary or Tartaria, a massive land stretching across Russia, Siberia, Central Asia, Mongolia, and even parts of China. But here's the strange part. Despite appearing on maps for centuries, Tartaria is barely mentioned in modern history books. No detailed accounts, no dynasties, no wars, nothing. It's almost as if an entire empire was wiped away. This silence sparked today's biggest historical conspiracy. Was Tartaria a real global civilization that was intentionally erased? The advanced architecture theory. One of the strongest arguments used by Tartaria believers is architecture. Across the world, in Russia, Europe, America, and Asia, we find buildings with giant archways, massive domes, ornate stonework, perfect symmetry, impossible precision. These structures appear in cities that were supposedly small or undeveloped at the time. But who built them, and how? Supporters claim these weren't normal buildings, they were Tartarian. Some even believe the civilization mastered free energy, using star-shaped fortresses and cathedral designs that acted like giant power stations. Real or not, the architectural mystery remains. Why do so many old-world buildings look more advanced than the societies credited with building them? The mud flood theory. Another strange element of the Tartaria narrative is the famous mud flood theory. In countless cities around the world, explorers discovered buildings with buried windows, doors underground, entire floors hidden below soil level, as if a massive flood of mud swallowed parts of these cities. Tartaria enthusiasts believe this wasn't natural. They argue a global catastrophe, a mud flood, destroyed the Tartarian Empire, burying its technology and structures. After the disaster, powerful nations supposedly rewrote history, claimed the buildings as their own, and erased Tartaria from existence. It sounds extreme, but the unusual architecture sparks questions that even historians struggle to fully explain. Old maps and the forgotten empire. The maps are perhaps the most convincing clue. Old European, Chinese, and even American maps show Tartary as a massive empire, with regions like Great Tartary, Independent Tartary, and Chinese Tartary, covering millions of square kilometers. If Tartaria was simply a geographic term, why was it treated like a centralized region? And why did it suddenly disappear from maps in the 19th century? Some researchers suggest the empire collapsed slowly. Others claim it never existed as a single nation, just a name for unknown lands. But conspiracy theorists argue that a powerful civilization was erased after losing a global war, replaced by new governments that rewrote history. Tartaria in America. One of the most controversial claims is that Tartarians reached North America long before Europeans. Supporters point to old world-style buildings in Chicago, San Francisco, New York, St. Louis, Philadelphia. These cities suddenly rebuilt after massive fires in the 1800s. But some believe there was no rebuilding, only excavation of already existing structures buried in mud. Is it possible advanced global architecture existed before modern America was founded? Hard to say, but the timeline raises eyebrows. Why would history hide Tartaria? If, and it's a massive if, Tartaria existed as a global civilization, why erase it? Conspiracy theorists give several reasons. To hide free energy technology, to present modern nations as the true creators of architecture, to control global narratives about power, to rewrite history after a worldwide disaster. But academic historians argue the opposite, that Tartary was simply a vague term for unknown Eurasian territories, not an empire. Both sides agree on one thing: much of our world's past remains unexplained. So, was Tartaria a real empire? A misunderstood region? A forgotten culture? Or just a modern-day legend? The truth is still buried in old maps, strange architecture, and unanswered questions. One thing is certain: history is not as complete as we think, and sometimes the mysteries we ignore reveal more about the world than the stories we accept. If you want more deep dives into lost civilizations, ancient secrets, and unexplained history, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The past is full of secrets, and we're just getting started.